So here in Homestead, Florida, recently there was a shooting on one of the school buses, and a young lady of 30 years old was shot by another young man. And I don't know his age, but of course, riding the school bus, and she being 13. Well, they pick up high school and middle school, so you can't really say, but he could be up to 17, I guess. And having driven school buses, it seems to me that this is something that should have been avoided. Now I know that young people are maturing early, but there's so much of sex in the place. I recall I was driving the school bus going through a kind of country area, and I see this girl in front of this guy, and she's going up and down and so on. And I suspect that they were having sex in the back of the bus. Now, there's nothing I could do. If I pull over the bus, try to get to the back there quick, they could put up the tools and everything, and I have no authority to search nothing. And they ask questions, nobody will say anything. And as a matter of fact, if I get too fast, they might end up beating me up on the bus or attempting to beat me up on the bus or something like that. So I recall at the school, I was either around, and this was a social study class, and it was the middle school. And this girl is asking the teacher, suppose now you're like a young man and he doesn't know, and so on. What should you do? But she said, you should go over and tell him, and so on. And I don't know if school is the place that we need to be teaching people how to liaison for sex and that kind of thing. I think school is straight up reading, writing, and math. Um, this is what I think, and science and so on, but math is science. We've gotten school now to a place where it's like church, like family. It's supposed to prepare students for professional life. And the schools, government schools will be saying like, this is what we think the future is going to be. Therefore, we need these skills to come up and meet us at this time, so they could change the curriculum and do things that they think are important. But the problem with this is that should women, be aggressive or be the one to initiate a relationship? I guess in the past that's been done, but women were a little more subtle, and they would be saying no when I mean yes, and yes when I mean no. But it was a protective mechanism in which, ladies aren't, well, I don't want to sound too sexist or nothing, but when a relationship is going to break up, maybe it hurts the woman more. And she could blame the guy and say, man, listen, I don't want to get in a relationship with you, but you press it and so on. But if she comes out and she starts it and problems come, she got to stand and bounce, and I'm not sure how to do it. Furthermore, I've seen here and around many men have the women working the streets as prostitutes. And sometimes I want to know how they got together. But apparently, many of the ladies will say, hey, no, man, I like you and everything, but I got no job, I got no money, I got nothing. She's like, I could work the street and everything be good, you just look out for me and so on. And there it goes. He's sitting by and watching, taking them numbers, and she out there selling her stuff. But I'm talking about this shooting on the school bus. I'm saying that, we've changed the way things are done. And of course, biology now is played in which, at early ages now, people having puberty and having sexual feelings and so on and so forth. But I find that the school and the homes and the church should be preaching sort of abstinence, in which sex is a big game. And when young people like these are involved in sex, and I'm not saying they were involved in sex, I'm just saying, I'm making a little preaching here. There's so many things happening. It's not about schoolwork anymore. It's about getting a home and having kids and how to find a job, and she needs gifts, and he wants to, spend more time with her and so on. And that is working against what they ought to be doing. They ought to be students, and it's a professional thing. It calls for that. Now, the time that they spend in school, they need to spend 2-3 times that studying at home. Well, as I said in another video, that some of the students say they study 0 hours per week at home, and they still get A's. Well, you have to fashion an exam in which it is reminding them or even teaching them in the exam. So you might ask the question like, what is what the blood, okay, what the blood delivers to the cells as it were like food. You got to say like a donut, like an apple, or glycogen. Now some people still say an apple or orange or ice cream or something like that. But a student who had been listening at least in class will know that glycogen is something that sounds biological and that might be, the right answer. Um, so that I mean, we having problems here. People growing up and talking stupid stuff, and I mean, they don't seem to know nothing, and then any fad that comes on, they're going for it. So, in this situation here, it's probable that it's some sour grapes. He like her and she don't like him, or something, and she got somebody else new, or he got somebody else new, and she harassing him, and I don't know what went on. But I think that people we need to, understand the consequences of certain moves. And of course, the enemy, Satan, and the Antichrist and others are reveling and are happy to see, things like this happen. But how to prevent such a thing? I mean, guns are at home. You can have a metal detector on the bus, going to school, all over the place. I mean, when are we going to get down to studying all these procedures you have to go through? It has to come back to character and people. People have to have character and say, look, I'm involved in an issue with this person. It's not worth killing the person. I mean, we have a misunderstanding. It's not catastrophic. The guy isn't threatening to kill me or nothing. He just has an opinion or about me or about something that I don't like, and he has a freedom of speech. He has a right to have his own ideas, and if he says to me, I don't like it, just situate differently as opposed to bringing it to a head and want to shoot and kill and so on. So this young man now has damaged his life permanently, and a family has lost a loved one permanently too, because it's obvious he is going to go to jail, and there was no reason. I mean, I don't see any way he could escape without going to jail, but it's killing. So I hope that we could come up with a way how we could regulate society and such that we don't have these extraordinary behaviors demonstrated in public places like on the street bus and so on. But that's life, and I hope that we could definitely make a difference because it makes life so and the classroom and learning on the bus so anxious and so um, bringing on unnecessary worry that when we're ready to get down to what the business is about studying, we dissipate with a lot of energy and these petty issues over there, which could suddenly become major. So I hope that we could really bring this to an end and have better relationships on the bus and elsewhere in schools.